Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to have a look at Atom. That's right. So we're going to start by looking at Atom on its Bitcoin pair, because I suppose this is where the fun's going to start to happen. If we're going to get this rotation out of Bitcoin into altcoins, which might be happening, there's a good chance that it is happening, to be honest with you. But even if it's not, you want to have a look at the Bitcoin pairs anyway, regardless, because this way it'll give you an idea of, is it stronger than Bitcoin or not. You look at each individual altcoin, with its Bitcoin pair, you get the heads up. Now, we were talking about this just very briefly on the Telegram. That's right, I've got a Telegram. Join, link below. And yeah, someone says, "Oh, is it a lost cause, or is it dead, or whatever?" And I'm like, no, it's not dead. I wouldn't be holding it if it's dead. I mean, you get really good staking rewards on it anyway, and something that, I mean, I get sometimes, it fluctuates, but it's between 16 and 20% I get staking rewards on this. On Swissborg is where I do mine. And normally I'm a bit skeptical of anything that's given that much APR, basically staking rewards back. But yeah, I have to look at the chart as well and go, okay, well actually the chart isn't all that bad on the highest term timeframes. That's been a monthly, and we'll have a look at that in a bit. But let's just start with the Bitcoin pair on the 4-hourly. Now, what do you see here? What the bloody hell has gone on here? A 35% wick. Now that could be a few things, but what probably accounts for that is somebody pressed market buy with an enormous amount of Bitcoin, right? So somebody wants it. Now at the moment, obviously everything. I say everything. Everybody wants XRP, because now XRP is at $2.69. If you can imagine that. Who told you that was going to happen? And who told you it was going to happen more or less now? It was me. I told you. Not blow my own trumpet for, it's just that obviously we're all high on wealth at the moment, aren't we? Because we're just, I've been like loading up on XRP for years now, and sitting back and enjoying the ride now. And the ride is yet to be over. This ride is, as far as I can tell, it's got a lot of legs in it left. But we're talking about Atom, and this could be a sign of what's to come, at least on this chart. This is just a 4-hourly. We're just looking at this. So what we recognise is a golden cross and a retest of it, continuation up. We're going to look at the daily now, which is going to be slow and sluggish. But I mean, look at the state of that wick. It's just so prominent. So what we're seeing here is a chart which is technically trying to battle against the death cross here. So your 200 simple, there's your 200 exponential, rejection, and the majority of candle bodies below it. Then finally retested it here, and now we're having problems with the exponential. Now once you get above that and start to build a base above that, that's when the power really begins. This wick, like I say, is probably telling us a bit of a story really, because this is a rotation. You don't, the BTC pairs are exactly that. It's people spending their Bitcoin on an altcoin. They're buying altcoins with Bitcoin. It is the definition of rotation. Someone's rotating, or people are rotating into all altcoins, but this is crazy. Now, my favorite setup across any indicator that I like is this. We've got conversion baseline cross above the cloud, we've got the price action above the cloud, and we've got our Chiku span above the cloud as well. So this is a trend signal that began here on this daily. So just to be fair, we can measure it from there, and so far it's gone up 13% from that trend signal. Now we're far off from getting any sort of like golden crosses on this daily, because it's slow and sluggish, and it's even quite high already. So whatever's going to happen in the short term can happen. But what we need to make sure is that this doesn't close inside the price action, which would require a 36% dump if we were to do it today. And we've got to stay at this level or higher over the next 17 days for continuation. I expect continuation, to be honest. The only thing that should stop this with this kind of setup would be the market. And you can't underestimate the power of the market when it decides it wants to come down. So just respect that if it were to happen. It's not that there's anything wrong with Atom itself or this chart itself. It's just it can't. It's not going to. We're not trading in a vacuum here. This is a cryptocurrency. It's going to move with Bitcoin and Ethereum and the overall market. So someone also complained, I say complained, but when I said, look, it's done 100% over the last month, you can't complain with that. Some people will complain with that because they're like, oh, if I'd have bought XRP when you told me to, I would have done like 300 or 400%, maybe more. Yeah, but you didn't, did you? and you haven't. And you can't go back in time. So what are you going to do? You're going to look for some other charts that haven't run yet, because that's probably the best thing to do. I'm not saying Atom is your altcoin of choice, but this is potentially this is where the money is going to be made on the charts that still have good setups and haven't yet moved. So what we're seeing on this daily, we do have a fresh golden cross on exponentials that took place just today, really. So fresh, and again it is slow. And we've got our conversion baseline cross down here at $4.87. So again, it's been giving us signals the whole time. It's been asking us to buy it. Now we're getting rejection at this level here, this $9.40. If we go to the weekly, you can see another reason why that might be is that just beyond that is the 200 exponential moving average, which again is part of a giant death cross that took place a long time ago over here. We struggled with it over here, and then we burst through it and came up to the 200 simple moving average, which is still actually trending a little high. It's just ever so slightly got a downtrend on it. So if we were to break from this sort of $9.5 towards $10 zone, probably see a nice big fat move up to around $14 or so, and that's probably where it would peak for now. What you'd be looking for after that over the course of the next 6 to 8 months is a series of higher highs and higher lows on this weekly that will lead into some nice big moves again. And look, I appreciate people who look at this and go, oh, it's not XRP, is it? But remember when I was telling people about XRP, probably only a month, but a couple of months ago, giving the same sort of ideas, of a chart which has still got plenty of room to run in it. At the moment, this current setup doesn't suggest anything further than $14, but we've got a long way to go, before the end of this cycle. I'm thinking September next year. Plenty of things can happen here. So what we want to see is a building block where the low's been hit. Maybe we come up to here over the next couple of weeks, then we come down to here, and then we build and build and build, and then go parabolic at some point next year, right? And throughout that whole period, I'll be staking, and you could also do that too. It helps with the hodl. Certainly, if that is your plan to hold this through until September, then you put it in some staking. Just make sure that you get it out of staking before September's over, really, or leaning into September next year. So we're assuming that this area will break, and that the next area of serious rejection is going to be around $14, where we probably come all the way back down to where we are at right now. This is where things get nice for me, right, on the monthly. So it's a brand new month. The month closed for the first time in a long time above the 20 moving average, and we've already come down to see a retest of it. Now we're going to have to zoom right in and see that. So it closed above it, more or less retested it. This is key. So you don't want to see Atom closing below $8.20. You don't want to see that. Because that does make it look like it's going to continue with a long-term downtrend. Now, this didn't put in a brand new low, by the way. This isn't the lowest it's ever gone. This isn't like EOS, for instance, or loads of these other really rubbish coins. It did go significantly low, and in the bear market end, when we actually hit this $5.40, it rallied very quickly up like 220%. But then the SEC decided to put it on the hit list, so it joins the likes of Algorand and you name it, Matic. I think it was Solana on there. They're all on there. All the big coins that seem to be rallying at the moment. Everyone's like, oh, these dinosaur coins, what's going on with those? Well, they got good charts to start with, but they were also all on the SEC's hit list, really, weren't they? And now look at them. So, I'm not trying to read fundamentals into what it is that I'm seeing, but this is potentially a really good start for it, getting it back above this sort of 840, 820 area, where we could really start to see the beginnings of a big bull market phase for Atom. Now, look, it's just a monthly chart, and we haven't made a higher high yet, not a proper one. We've got to get above 12, and again, I'm looking for a rejection around 14. I'm just trying to put it to you that these are bullish charts, and bullish charts are good. They're not bad. And this one's got a long way to go before it reaches these areas. Now, we've all seen on XRP, for instance, just as a good example, XRP, everyone's like, oh, this was so rubbish. Everyone's hated it for so long. And I'm saying, look, XRP had a much better setup, by the way, but Yeah, everyone's like, oh, it's impossible. We could never do it. The market cap, if we were to go up to that level, the market cap would be unrealistic. The trading volume required to do that would be completely crazy. And you're like, whoa. It's just a chart. It's just a setup. You know, the market caps of crypto go up and down like a bloody yo-yo anyway. You know, it's unrealistic to say to me or to yourself that, oh, it's impossible because the market cap would be too high. You wait and see when XRP hits $10, or maybe even hits the teens, possibly somewhere in the 20s by the time this is all over next year. And then talk about it again at that point. It's impossible. They just can't do that. You're crazy. It's going to stay at 50 cents. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I've just gone off on a tangent here, but what I'm trying to point across is you look at a chart like this and think that it's not possible, that nothing's possible on this. It cannot do anything. It's not a good chart. When everyone wants to buy XRP because it's rallying up high, what they fail to recognise is they missed the boat to buy it low. So I'm not saying this is going to do anything the same size as XRP, but to recover to its previous highs, 320% to the wick highs, 400%, over the space of what I think is going to be around 8 or 9 months. Now that is good. That's a good investment. That's a good setup. That's a good trade. And on top of that, you can stake it for at least, at least 10% across most platforms. If you, like me, you're able to stake it between 16, 18, and 20. So I'm quite happy to do that and allow this one to come to fruition. It is a lagger. It does lag. It's not like the others. It's not mooned or it's not gone crazy. It's not done anything special yet. I think there's a very good chance that it will. And also, I'm not one for fundamentals and technology and whatever, but it actually plays a very important part in blockchain. It's not one of those scams. This is like connected to all the major blockchains. It's like a really big deal. I think one of the things that really kicked it in the face, other than the SEC, is that Luna, the famous Luna, was built on it, and the UST was built on it. And when that just turns to fairy dust overnight, it affected dramatically Atom because there was so much money involved in those two coins, and they basically just turned to ash overnight. So I'm going to put it to you now. This is not a bad setup. This is not a bad coin. It's got a long way to go. Don't expect to get rich tomorrow. This is an investment that could take up to 9 months to come to fruition. And again, yields are 400% up to where it came from, and maybe it goes higher than that. If we're basing it around its previous lows, around here, it managed to rally from $1 up to $44. So it's basically a 40x, really. So that is good. So if we're looking for the same kind of returns, which again is not impossible, these previous highs are not the highs that we're going to get stalled at. Yeah, you'll have stumbling blocks around 28, you'll have stumbling blocks around 36, and so on. But if it breaks higher, we probably would be looking for this to go into 100 to more, based on at least the sentiment right now and the conviction that at least this new administration seems to have of the utilization of using blockchain and the legitimacy of it all. And again, this isn't a nothing. This isn't a scam. This isn't one of those meme coins that's just been created by some teenage kid, in his bedroom on a live stream. It's not one of those. This is a real deal. But again, on a short term, trend signal's good. Bitcoin pair, trend signal good. Monthly closed above, the first time since April. It does look like it's going to do something to me. So I'm happy to hold it throughout the duration of this year and to next year. And probably take it out of staking around end of summer next year, getting ready to perhaps maybe just dump it all onto the market when I feel like a peak in the overall bull market starts to become a bit more evident. But right now, slow and steady. Take the tortoise over the hare. That's what I say. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.